Let me try Greg again out of Florida. Greg, let's try it again.
Hey, sir, how are you this morning?
All is well, Greg.
I got a question about thoughts, Jesse. So I was listening to your church service yesterday. That was really good, by the way. I notice every time I listen, y'all give me something to think about, and that's really cool.
Nice.
So you told that lady to be present, and you said you need to be present when you get out of the bed, you put your feet on the ground, you're going to brush your teeth, and I understand that. My question about the thoughts is, so you know what you have to do during a day. So you have your, I don't know what time you get up, but you have things you have to do, right?
Right.
So I feel like if this is what happens to me, I don't know if anybody else has this happen, but so when I'm in the present all the time, which is really nice to be in the present, I do feel the peace in that. But you can't help but think a little bit ahead because you think about the next thing you need to do. And but this is where it's hard, because I know as soon as you see that, then Satan gets busy. Because you thought out of the present moment, you think about, well, I'm getting ready to leave the house. Let me make sure I have everything. And then you start walking out the door and you check to make sure if you have everything. Well, you're running through your head to see if you can, if do I have my wallet? Do I have my keys? Do I have my debit cards? And when you start to do that, it takes you out of the present moment you're in. And then when you're out of that present moment, Satan gets busy, and he deceives you really quick by saying, you're not going to remember that. You got to keep checking. You got to look at this right. And then you get out, and it builds that fear in you, and then that's where you get separated again. Does that sound like something you've heard? I know it is funny. I heard you laugh. It is funny. I was just wondering if you'd ever heard it.
So your question for me is what?
What is your exact definition of being in the present, so I can be clear on what you're saying? Hopefully I can see it.
Not thinking about this false illusion of the past or the future, or not being caught up in thoughts. When you are present, you're aware of yourself walking from one room to another one, going through the door, getting in and out of the car, having conversation with people, whatever. You're not lost in your thought about it. You're present. You're aware of yourself doing it.
So where I had that disconnect is I know that. But the problem I face is that when I'm in that present moment, sometimes, and I've had it happen to where I forget something I should have done. But I was present. Okay, I'm walking to the truck. I'm getting in the truck. I'm all that. But because I didn't go into my thoughts to figure out if I left something or not, sometimes I forget something. Does that make sense? So it's easy to get stuck in that thought.
So you're saying you get stuck in being present, that you forget your wallet?
Well, I'm just giving that as an example. Say if you're in present, I'm riding down the road right now going to my next job.
Right.
And I'm on the highway. I'm sitting in the car. I'm talking to Jesse Lee Peterson. But I also have to think about, did I grab what I needed to grab before I got to that customer's house? Yes, let me remember to grab that. Or else I guess it's my imagination now that I think about it. It's my imagination telling me I'm going to forget something, and then it builds fear over something that's not even taking place.
That's what it sounds like. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I just seen it as I was telling you. It was like, just like that, God revealed it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, you have the answer then.
And I wanted to answer the biblical question, please.
When you don't know what to do, why do you distort it by doing something?
Old habits. I think that I need to do something, and I haven't died away from that completely yet. So sometimes I find myself filling in the blank because Satan tells me, you got to be doing something, Greg. And then because you feel like there's something you can do, and you only feel that way because you think you're in control and you're God. And you think that you can control something when you can't. When you truly realize you can't control something, you'll stop filling in blanks.
Amazing. I appreciate that, Greg. I'll put my little 2 cents on Sunday, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I think but what is very interesting is that you asked this question about the thoughts, and the answer came to you. You were able to see the answer.
I think sometimes because I've been in this fallen state so long, Jesse, I'm 45 now, and I think because I've been in it so long, I mean, I believe deep in my imagination all my life. Angry, just hateful in a lot of ways, and I think that, like you said to a caller before, when you start coming out of that a little bit and you start looking at yourself, Satan gets super busy by telling you, you know, you don't know who you are, Greg. You're going to forget this stuff. This ain't working. God doesn't know what he's doing. If he did, you wouldn't feel this way. And then you get scared because you're believing the thought again, because you're like, man, I really don't know who I am. Like, who am I? And that's a scary feeling to not know who you are when you live 45 years thinking you know you, but you don't know nothing.
Human beings are dumb as a doorknob and don't know it. It's amazing
right.
to see that. But stay with it, Greg. It becomes clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer.
Yes, sir. I will. Thank you for your time, sir. Have a good evening.
You too, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing.